Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu turned his speech at the UN into a performance. We have now entered the era of stagecraft, and it was perfectly orchestrated. And it wasn't just Benjamin Netanyahu, but I highlighted Trump, Ursula von der Leyen, her dress that she chose to stand out, as well as Benjamin Netanyahu's, which took the cake and was the ultimate in performance. And lending to the performance was the walkout at the beginning before he started speaking, but in protest to Benjamin Netanyahu.
Please order in the hall. Please order in the hall.
Did I hear somebody say bravo? So it begins with this performance first by those who stage this giant walkout as if Israel is the nation that is the biggest villain on the world stage. Now, it's not the biggest villain on the world stage. This is just another form of anti-Semitism. But that's what the world would have you to believe, because the UN is slanted, and the UN is in itself an organization that needs to be revamped, but it's slanted against Israel in a huge way, and we've talked about that. But the performance of the walkout begins before Benjamin Netanyahu even provides his stagecraft. So let's take a quick peek at Benjamin Netanyahu. So we see, as he takes the stage, he's wearing a red tie. Now this is noteworthy because he is in America, and the United States is Israel's strongest ally. U.S. President Donald Trump is the strongest ally that Benjamin Netanyahu could ever have hoped for. And in honor of Trump, he's wearing the red tie, as if to say, back to the United States, we're with you, we appreciate you. So he's got the red tie, again, the dark blue suit, similar to US President Donald Trump, and the big QR code. Check it out. He's got a QR code. Like, talk about, this is stagecraft, and this is the modern era, and I'm going to come out not in a pin. I'm not going to come out wearing a watch that you're going to notice. I'm going to wear a QR code. So he's got his QR code, but the QR code is also got all the information that he wants to get out there, because there's so much disinformation against Israel. So this is also part of the stagecraft, the performance, and also providing a huge message. So let's look at it, the next thing he does, from the perspective of a performance.
Families of our dear hostages languishing in the dungeons of Gaza. Ladies and gentlemen, last year I stood at this podium and I showed this map. This map. It shows...
Lending to this, as Benjamin Netanyahu was just speaking, we have the protester in the back that you could hear clearly. And he begins his speech talking about the horrific reality of the hostages. And that's very effective, because that message has been, as he stated during his speech, totally wiped out, like just ignored, like it didn't even happen. So that was actually effective. But notice that he goes right for the visual. Let's take a look at his visual.
this map. It shows the curse of Iran's terror axis. This axis threatened the peace of the entire world.
Now, how effective is that? The curse. For the whole world to see. The curse. In red, no less. This big visual. So that even without him speaking, let's say you don't even hear the speech, you see the visual, so it's very effective. This is a nice touch, actually, for geopolitics and for media, because all that needs to be there is that photo with curse, and the message gets out. This is very, very effective. In his speech, he talked about Iran and the danger of Iran to the region, which is something that U.S. President Donald Trump understands. And Benjamin Netanyahu wants to relay this to the European Union as well as to the other world leaders, is the real danger that Iran poses to the region. And he then, afterwards, cites his QR code.
You see this large pin here? It's a QR code. What I ask you to do is hold up your phones, zoom in, and you too will see why we fight and why we must win. It's all in here. On October 7th, Hamas carried out the worst attack on Jews since the Holocaust. They slaughtered 1,200 innocent people, including over 40 Americans and foreign nationals from dozens of countries represented here.
That is very effective. Modern, theatrical, and effective for Israel, which its message is literally been silenced in the media to get that message out. But it's also theatrical. Stagecraft now is a part of geopolitics. This next part is priceless. He gives a quiz. He gives a quiz during his speech. So we're going to listen to his quiz.
Let's do something else first at the UN. Let's do a pop quiz. And raise your hand if you know the answer. Here's the first question. Who shouts death to America? Is it A, Iran, B, Hamas, C, Hezbollah, D, the Houthis, or E, all of the above? All of the above. Correct, all of the above. Second question. Who has murdered Americans and Europeans in cold blood? Is it A, Al-Qaeda, B, Hamas, C, Hezbollah, D, Iran, or E, all of the above? Correct. Again. So here's the point I wanted to make. Our enemies hate all of us with equal venom. They want to drag the modern world back to the past, to a dark age of violence, fanaticism, and terror.
That was really effective. And I like the way he said that this is the first time this is being done at the UN. And I like the innovation there. And also, there was another piece of theatrics. And it was a statement that he made out of the scriptures, but also out of a movie. So we're going to take a quick peek at what that is.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks to special efforts by Israeli intelligence, my words are now also being carried. They're streamed live to the cell phones of Gazans. So to the remaining Hamas leaders and to the jailers of our hostages, I now say, lay down your arms. Let my people go. Free the hostages.
That was very effective. And it is. It was literally like in the movie Moses, let my people go. And Benjamin Netanyahu is very effective, often citing the Bible and various passages in the Bible, and also naming operations with scriptural terms to match battles that took place in ancient Israel. This was a real presentation on the part of Benjamin Netanyahu, and I would encourage you to listen to his speech. It's an effective speech. And what is tragic is that it doesn't matter how loud he screams it, how accurate his facts, what he says. The disinformation and anti-Semitism that is out there drowns it out. So it's no surprise that stagecraft would now be incorporated into how he would go about getting his message out, because Israel has to do something extra, because its message and the truth is so being drowned out by the media. I took away a very noteworthy fact, which is, for all the talk of genocide and all the talk of the starvation on the part of Israel to the Palestinians, he noted that 85% of the aid was hijacked by Hamas. Hijacked by Hamas. And that message isn't getting out there. Instead, it's all of the untruths that paint Israel as the world's villain when it is not the world's villain. And you want to be sure to check out my book, Israel, The Key to the West, where I talk about the importance of Israel to both the European Union and the United States, and also to the entire Western world. The importance of this nation and what Israel actually does contribute. It's a lot more than you think and a lot more than you realize. So you definitely want to get my book. Well, hope you found this informative. Check out the Twist Amazon store where we have the books by our guests. Also, my books are there. Check out my books and stay tuned. Oh, did I tell you to hit the subscribe button? You know, I'm having like a senior moment and I can't remember if I told you to subscribe. So definitely hit the subscribe button and we'll see you next time.